For this next session, we've got Sohi from Rocket Software, who's an IBM champion, joining us from California. And she's going to be talking to us about the Next Generation DBA. So this session's being recorded and will be available after the conference. Please make sure you do all of your session feedback. So this session is K8. And if you've got any questions, please ask them in the chat window and then I can ask them at the end. So with that, over to you.
Thank you. Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for those of you that are listening to this on replay. I am Saki Amir Soleimani, the Vice President of Rocket Software, a global technology leader that develops enterprise modernization and optimization solutions for Fortune 1000 customers. It is a great honor to be presenting it today at UKGSE, and hopefully next year I will be live in person to see you guys. But thank you for joining me to take a look at the Next Generation DBA. I have had the wonderful opportunity to work with mainframe customers across the world since my career, since the beginning of my career 20 years ago. Certainly, I hear and see databases getting larger and availability requirements longer. However, the size of the DBA group is shrinking. The traditional role of a DBA is increasingly being automated or outsourced. The next generation DBA will require a deeper application and overall information about the life cycle. COVID has dramatically changed business models and forced companies to accelerate their digital initiatives, rapidly moving pilot programs into production. To survive in this new digital economy, clients must capitalize on their data growth and deliver innovative solutions. Getting the right data to the right place is problematic as data is distributed across clouds and devices and machines. Things are beginning to change dramatically for a vast number of DBAs. The increase in available and inexpensive storage has shifted focus of the job away from storage management. This has supposedly reduced the workload for the individual DBA, but has it really? The reduction in responsibility of managing software and data organization has resulted in a reduction of staff. In addition, attrition due to retirements have further placed responsibilities on a dwindling number of DBAs. Place on top of that the fact that a vast majority of new hires are not even acquiring Z-based skills at a university level. The goal of new software and what I call database concierge has few specific purposes. Self-service to all IT professionals, providing the remaining DBA specific advice using a deep understanding of ZOS, and building the next generation of experts. Next slide, please. When I started my career around the time of DB2 version 5, right after college, I was told the estimated learning curve was about 5 years, and you still wouldn't know everything. And with each release and size, the complexity has grown. Can you imagine making that same statement to a millennial? Today, however, paradigm shifting forces seem to be driving significant changes to work and the next gen workforce. The new digital communication technologies are changing how work gets done. The growth and advances in AI are changing who does the work, and even the question of what work is like coming in under examination. A continually evolving marketplace drives organizations to explore new business models. Competition is fierce, and the enterprises that can adapt and innovate fastest are going to win. You cannot think that your enterprise is immune from competition and keep your traditional methodologies. At this point in time, IT is a part of what drives your enterprise and the products it delivers to your customers, regardless of the product being delivered. Thus, innovation is key, and we need to start adapting to how we manage the enterprise and winning the market share. Customer. The global impact of COVID-19 has accelerated consumer expectations and shifted priorities. Those organizations that can deliver seamless, personalized experiences to their customers are winning the market share. Competition. Native cloud companies are popping up and stealing market share, unburdened by legacy technologies and operating with greater agility. Technology will continue to redefine the relationship between customers and organizations need to prioritize the investment in current technologies to enable profitable growth and future agility, as well as reduce cost of operations through automation. Bottom line, DBAs need the freedom to become more strategic to the business, meaning software needs to become easier to use and smarter. Next slide, please. To illustrate how changes is bringing uncertainty, I want to take a look at what's happening in our banking sector. Few industries have a long history and stability that the banking industry has enjoyed. Banks depend on firm trust of their customers, and as a result, change usually takes time. However, in recent years, customers in the banking sector have realized that evolution is necessary if they want to remain relevant in the global economy. They're letting go of some of the traditional methodologies and looking into new, innovative ways to make life easier for their customers. Let us think about what this means in different lines of business. The head of retail banking, his online banking app is digitally astute, social, and gives the ability to make mobile insights fast. With intense pressures from new banks and non-traditional banking players, senior application development executives need to meet customer expectations for high-quality experiences as defined by that head of retail banking, while the IT infrastructure director needs to ensure application performance goals are achieved with no downtime or delays. Lead mainframe software developers need to drive greater transaction and data growth in applications. Lead DBAs have increased responsiveness to performance issues and a fear of application outages. Next slide, please. As technology evolves and the way and pace in which businesses adopt and exploit technology accelerates, the DBA focus areas will continue to grow. The mainstay areas of administration, optimization, resiliency, connection access, and security are not standing still. Meanwhile, the importance of adopting DevOps, knowledge engineering, virtualization, open source practices require a whole new level of attention. I think of the DBA role as a constant evolution, and areas of focus will continue to grow as IT does. To meet the needs of the business, the DBA needs a concierge level assistance to maintain peak effectiveness in expected areas while expanding for new business demands. Concierge level software needs to keep pace with the advancing technology and expand with their business. This solidifies the platform relevance and the relevance of the business. Let's dig into one of the most critical focuses for a DBA, optimization. Next slide, please. Large IT installations have a wealth of data about capacity and performance, but often struggle to create value from the data. Successful optimization requires tools that create transparency combined with people and processes focused on cost savings. As an example, let's take a look at challenging query tunings across the organization. Writing good code and writing optimized SQL requires different skill sets. Application developers rely on frameworks to write SQL for them. If they focus on capability delivery, that can mean performance is a second order of consideration if there's time. Often, the QA environment is inadequate to scale out scalability issues, either from the workload perspective or from a data perspective. Experienced DBAs have the skill set to optimize SQL, but given the hectic schedules and numerous responsibilities, the disconnect we see often between application and database groups is frequent. They don't often get a chance to focus on SQL optimization until problems arise. According to IBM data, DBAs spend 25 to 30% of their time managing application performance. And once in production, query tuning is incredibly challenging. Performance problems can appear out of the blue, and applications are running fine one day and then the next they're not. What changed? The workload, database characteristics, when did the data change, the volume or distribution? Access paths can change. Did the database design change? For example, was the index added or dropped? DBAs are now having to consider things like index elimination strategies. To begin, DBAs must gather information from a number of sources, including catalog performance monitors, explain information, etc. DBAs will always need to establish solid ZOS performance monitoring to not only prevent problems from happening, but to augment or drive other methods of maintaining availability. DBAs need a deep understanding of database concepts to ensure good database design and query design. Basically, they need to think like the optimizer. Next slide, please. I wanted to return to looking at the banking sector example again. Increasingly, and looking increasingly at the banking sector. Imagine if you're a DBA and you had this concierge level software that is a synergistic partnership of software working for you, a solution that adapted to specific needs of the business. It would eliminate guesswork from application outages, and performance issues would resolve faster and with greater confidence. The Next Gen DBA would have the ability to act and think like an expert quickly without feeling like they were always in firefighting mode, which in turn would allow the head of retail banking to deliver business results needed for growth, the senior application development executive to ensure high quality customer experience for online banking, and the IT infrastructure director would be able to provide application criteria that they need for the business. The lead mainframe software developer would deliver performance to deliver their meet the SLAs, and the DBA would be the superhero for the business. So now let's look one step further and dig into understand what this really means to the Next Gen DBA. Next slide, please. New techniques and approaches are starting to be applied to AI and machine learning to ensure they function within acceptable parameters, only doing what they are supposed to do. AI and machine learning are two popular terms that are often hyped these days and often used interchangeably. AI is the ability of a computer or a machine to mimic or imitate human intelligent behavior and perform human-like tasks. ML is a subset of AI that can be automatically learn the data without explicitly being programmed or assisted by domain expertise. Let's be honest, an optimization expert is a specialty and a rare skill. You must have the time to do it right. It's no longer a set it and forget it. It's a science within its own right. But unfortunately, with the size of the business, it becomes harder and harder just to manage simple things like alerts from performance monitors, which were either inherited or set too high or set too low or outdated, thus losing the validity and purpose they may have. The Next Gen DBA will need concierge level software to apply AI to thresholds for anomaly detection. Think about it. An easy to use way to filter out data that removes the guesswork of what is important while using performance history to provide value. Then machine learning will be used to determine what is normal over time. Therefore, alerts and exceptions would be much more meaningful. Now, utilizing AI, such solutions can make a true self-healing autonomous databases possible. Next slide, please. Today's IT environments require skill sets that challenge even accomplished DBAs. Organizations like yours want to use ML and AI technologies to automate tasks. AI is the learning about your system behavior, so it learns what is normal. Every customer has utilization, therefore, what is normal to you may be abnormal to another customer. And where would you exactly need to start? Who knows more about your environment or history than a performance monitor? In conjunction with AI, your database concierge software could learn and adapt as your application changes. Next slide, please. Learning and understanding DB2 system resource usage requires decades of skills. The concierge level software would learn patterns and reduce false positives and easily identify concerns and historical expert knowledge, predict future shortages, driving significant value to the business, and at the same time, allowing the DBA to not only be proactive, but reactive at the same time. Now, let us take a look at one of the newer DBA focus areas, open source. Next slide, please. The mainframe is still likely a system of record, but is it instrumental to your system of engagement or your system of insight? The answer starts to break down when you move away from the system of record. So now we replicate or ETL the data, but can the platform evolve to be an instrumental to your system? One of these evolutions is the acceptance and use of open source software. Open source databases are free communities with source code available to the public to use and may be modified or used in their original design. Popular examples are MySQL, Postgres, or MongoDB. We are seeing a growing trend of leveraging multiple database types to meet customer applications needs. So now, if we continue to reflect on what this means for banking, recently Forbes predicted there will be a new income from open banking and data as a service, and stated expect dramatic business model rewrites with open banking, which create two-sided markets to earn revenues for both customers, developers, and data as a service, and API offerings to extend data and analytics services to institutional clients. IT is undergoing a revolutionary change in architectures, new processing capabilities, and an overwhelming number of programming language options. With the ever-increasing advancement of the dynamic workforce that spans from millennials to baby boomers, and a rising expectation in user experiences, there needs to be a new standard framework for interacting with mainframe that enables an intuitive, productive, and better integrated solution. Next slide, please. So due to the inherent community-based nature of open source solutions, they offer extremely high flexibility for deployments and data types. Because of how important hybrid cloud, multi-cloud, and modernizations are within the market space, they receive considerable attention from open source community. The same can be said for popular development tools. Open source solutions are also inherently transparent and can avoid vendor lock-in, with an entire community able to view and work in the complete code base, and workload portability is second nature. This in turn means that the hybrid and multi-cloud environments is easier to create. Zoe brings together industry experts to drive innovation for a community of next-gen mainframe developers and DBAs that may not have platform experience. Zoe promotes faster team and on-ramps to productivity, collaboration, knowledge sharing, and communication. The new framework enables ecosystem software solutions intended to provide simple, intuitive environment to a variety of IT professionals. While this helps bridge the skills gap, it also opens up new opportunities for the next-gen DBA to become more strategic to the overall business. Let us see how. Next slide, please. Adopting open source lends the opportunity to build out platforms and services on ZOS. This platform is a browser-based user interface built on top of open source Zoe Virtual Desktop, perfect for your next-gen DBA and developers. It can offer modern interfaces that make it easier for beginners to work with mainframes. It allows workflows that are task-based instead of tool selection. It would enable a cultural shift with custom DevOps workflows. This would be one seamless, intuitive interface for all data management software. Additional software products can be built upon and easily and seamlessly integrated. It would lead to a vastly improved modern experience that is re-architectured and reimagined to extend concierge-level assistance to the DBA. Next slide, knowledge engineering. You've done analytics in the past. You may have done business intelligence in the past. You may have even done data mining in the past. Now, knowledge engineering is an even broader category. Knowledge engineering is putting all of those things together to meet the business needs, and it's likely going to be in the DBA's domain, matching the information to what the business needs to fit the system of insight. This creates systems relying on extensive data to guide machines, to simulate human cognition and problem solving. The data validation process is a vital aspect of knowledge engineering. One would gather the data, an accurate understanding of the tasks at hand, and ensure that it meets the specific standards we need. With database concierge service and software, it can help DBAs turn their DB2-based systems to a system of insight, helping drive a myriad of business decisions, providing data to serve all the enterprise innovation needs. This will require an innovative approach to how we make data available enterprise-wide. Let me illustrate this by looking at a system monitoring data example. Next slide. After talking and interviewing many customers, they told us that their systems on DB2, KICS, etc., are all growing in complexity. They have hundreds of KICS systems, DB2, and IMS regions that cannot easily be monitored. Overcoming silos with one single and centralized point of control is required. Application teams want to access the information about transaction performance to help them identify and solve problems faster. Traditional monitors are perceived to be too complicated and overwhelming for new hires wanting to learn the mainframe. Management wants visibility to the mainframe by integrating mainframe ops with business and distributed op dashboards that they have today, like Elastic, Splunk, and Grafana. They want to take performance data from Z and all other system applications integrated end to end. An application is rarely on Z, like the mobile app for banking. You cannot do that with just mainframe stack. In effect, customers want to wrestle back control of their data and analyze it where and how they want it. Next slide, please. We all know Z monitoring solutions provide valuable data, but it's hard to get access to that data to do something with it, and even harder for those less senior DBAs, and even harder for those clients that are outsourced. They feel like they're trapped or chained. Database concierge like service would provide data that is easy to understand in an easy to understand format, such that can be consumed by your preferred analytics platforms such as Elastic, Grafana, and Splunk. Is growing in importance and adoption. It's starting to become essential to monitoring now and into the future. The value would then be having a centralized control over the data and what gets forwarded and how often, making sure the redundancy so that failure can minimize and avoid data loss, ensuring a central point to configure and administer, and providing architectural flexibility that is needed on ZOS to reduce cost. And data that may have used to be delayed by 15 minutes can now be available in real time to save customers money right away. Basically fitting operational analytics into data as a service. Next slide, please. As databases and platforms become more self-managing, the DBA role is changing, but no less important. It has become business-focused, more business-focused than it has been in the past. Beyond resiliency is needed for the business continuity and towards the pairing of optimizing technology and the processes that help enterprises excel. The DBA has always been the steward of information and resources as long as I can remember, and this will become even more important. Focus will expand from data availability, data exploration, and exploitation. As the business strives to outpace its competitors and delight its customers, the DBA will be instrumental in accelerating and elevating data resources to make this happen. The workforce will continue to change, and the DBA needs to ensure the right automation, tools, and expertise surrounds the data to meet the business needs in the future. With a plethora of solutions coming from every direction, the DBA will remain the rudder of the guides to the enterprise towards the proper technical solutions and features needed for the company in proper time. The DBA has been and will continue to be a leadership role that engages 360s with internal and external partners with a goal of meeting business needs at the proper time. The DBA will assess partners that show vision to innovate solutions for evolving technology landscape while pursuing personal relationships with the business and IT leaders to ensure solutions are relevant to their needs. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Rather than just hearing my words, I thought I would share a recent quote from one of the brilliant minds of our industry. This will be the most important use of software in the coming future. Because of the number of transactions ever increasing and the channels that we work with is increasing. But the number of persons doing the job is decreasing. So automation is the only weapon we have. So Are we really going to go see the DOS DBA right off into the sunset? My belief is no. But as it has over the years, the role will continue to expand and grow and evolve as we see. Next slide, please. If you would like to learn more about database concierge level type software, I recommend you check out these sessions listed from my fellow Rocketeers. If you have missed any of these sessions, that took place last week, don't forget you can catch them on replay and they are available. But if you have any questions, I am open to that and I will be happy to have those. But feel free, if you're more comfortable or listening to this live, you can either email directly to me at sahi@rocketsoftware.com or reach out to anybody on our team to answer your questions. But thank you for having me, and I will close out this session. You can go to the next slide.
Great, thank you. So we don't currently have any questions. So yeah, please do email across any questions you have as a follow-up. Please do give your session feedback as well, and the session is K8. So thank you all for attending, and thank you, Sahi, for giving the session. And the next sessions are going to be 9 AM tomorrow morning. So make sure you're up all nice and early. And with that, I think we'll close the session. So thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.